What kind of a crappy side hustle is this? Right now, as of the end of December in 2023, I'm sitting on 3,053 subscribers. At the same time last year, I was sitting on 1,012 subscribers. Good growth and probably more than I expected, but maybe not quite what you expected. After 2 years in, investing all this time into being a YouTuber, I have not made a dime. Now, again, unfortunate that I'm not relying on this to be my full-time career, but it does beg the question, is this worth it? Hi everyone, my name is Jack Wang and today we're going to talk about my experiences starting YouTube 2 years into the journey versus this time last year when I was 12 months in as a fresh new YouTuber. My day job is full-time. Academia and being a scientist, they are all-encompassing vocations. So I went to productivity gurus and the number one book recommendation I could find was Atomic Habits, Forming Positive Compounding Habits Over Time. Today, 5 atomic habits I picked up after 2 years on YouTube and how it's transformed my channel. Atomic habit number 5 is just publishing consistently. Put it up on screen, the number of videos I published last year versus the number of videos I published this year. And the secret of doing this and staying consistent is to find a format that is workable and is sustainable. And for me, that is podcasting about the latest science and tech news headlines. I'm a scientist, so I have a fair amount of expert insight. Also, I spend my days reading literature and staying up to date. So it makes perfect sense for me to talk about what I know. That is my advantage in this space. And also that makes it a lot easier to produce those videos. Think of an episode, film and edit it within 1 day. I can get those videos out very, very quickly. Atomic habit number 4 is making thumbnails and titles and doing so repeatedly. It all comes down to title and thumbnail, and I went to title and thumbnail school this year. On screen right now, you'll see some of the older thumbnails that I had in year 1 of being on YouTube. My face isn't in any of the thumbnails, whereas this year, I try to put my face, regrettably, on most of the thumbnails so people know who I am, what I look like, and that every time I'm on YouTube talking about a science topic, it's me. Each segment is a new video, and each segment is deserving of its own thumbnail, its own title. That repetition, that consistent trial and error of different types of thumbnails. Every single week I'm making 4 or 5 different mini videos, each of which has a different title, a different thumbnail. And that's the only way to guarantee you get better at something, is if you accelerate the growth curve, jamming a lot of activity within a short period of time. 2022, the number of views was 55,000 in that ballpark. And in 2023, I'm on pace for 171,000. So triple the amount of views as per the first year. These are all promising signs that I'm on the upward trend. Atomic habit number 3 is making B-roll, and especially making a library of B-roll. B-roll, of course, is the footage that goes on top of the timeline when you don't want people to see your face, or when you talk about something that it would be good to show rather than tell. Last year, I would plan a video and say, right, here are 20 B-roll shots I need to film, and then every video I have to film another 20 B-roll shots. Now, whenever I plan a B-roll shot, I think, is this a B-roll clip that I can reuse forever? A person walking over an overpass, equipment or technology, some computer thing that appears on screen. Can I use this video clip over and over again? And every time I'm adding a clip, I'm not finding it from scratch. I'm not trying to film it from scratch. I can look through the library and find it that much more quickly. So instead of thinking every video is a chore, I've got to shoot with this B-roll, every time I'm filming B-roll for a new video, it's B-roll that's going to serve multiple videos into the future, if not every video in the future. Atomic habit number 2 is distribution. And that distribution, of course, is not just the distribution baked into the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube search engine. It's also understanding that making these evergreen online assets has value beyond YouTube. At the beginning of 2020, 2021, my LinkedIn following, LinkedIn profile was pretty minuscule. I wasn't posting very consistently on there. I think LinkedIn is one of the most underrated platforms that a professional can use to disseminate their work. And now, after posting my videos and the writing that goes along with the videos, as well as the audio clips from my podcast, as of, again, December 2023, I've got almost 2,000 followers and over 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, which is really, really wonderful. And if I look at the posts impressions, people who see my posts on LinkedIn, over 114,000 people have seen my posts on LinkedIn, which kind of blows my mind, right? The fact that these are my professional networks, my professional contacts, not people on YouTube randomly. These are people who can see my work and may be able to offer me more opportunities in the future. They've seen the output of what I'm doing. Another place I've been putting the content is, yes, Twitter, although I've seen that growth kind of stagnate on Twitter or X. I also put on TikTok and Instagram. Again, kind of a ceiling in terms of where that growth is, but where I've seen really amazing growth is on Substack. Substack is a medium predominantly for writers, so it's not a great platform to disseminate YouTube videos, but with YouTube videos comes writing, comes scripting, and also with the audio podcast, I host that from my Substack, Biolab Collective with Jack Wang on Substack, and I've reached, again, hundreds of thousands of people via both my writing about careers as well as the podcasting that I'm doing. So it's really promising. That process of reflective writing and looking at the analytics has really highlighted A, what I really enjoy, and B, what kind of traction there is in the online audience. So again, it's that distribution channel, having multiple outlets to disseminate all the things that you're putting out there into the online space, into the world. You can build additional value that doesn't tie you down to one single platform. The atomic habit number one is following the paper trail. Every time I'm putting a post, a video, a blog post, podcast, a little snippet, a LinkedIn update, I'm getting analytics. I know what type of topics get the most amount of coverage. I know what kind of subject matter gets a lot of interest, a lot of comments. I can choose to, if I want to, double down on some topics that will further deep dive and allow me to establish my niche on the internet. Science and technology is really quite broad, but what is a bit more specific is jobs in science and tech. And I think that is the niche I really want to go into. All these companies who are working with the most cutting edge things, how they're viewing employing graduates and how they're thinking about promotion and how they're thinking about profitability. Anyone can learn from that kind of cutthroat side of the business. Even if you're not a scientist, you're not in tech, you can still take something away from that strategy and imbue it onto your own career. So that's the content I've really found a lot of value in making, and all the analytics say that that kind of content is resonating with the audience. That is the direction I'll take the channel forward in 2024. I'm also going to be making more content directly around jobs and how to get jobs in science. I'm launching a new series called Job Hunters, where every week I walk through an entry-level job in science advertised that's live, as well as a kind of mid-tier or high-level job in that same industry, and then compare applying for a job in that area, beginner versus pro. And I'm going to talk through them as a live job listing. You can pay for a monthly membership on Substack. You get access to those resources, me walking through a live job listing. Or if you want to join as a YouTube member, you will also get early access to those videos around me applying for a job listing in science and tech that's live. I'll give you that strategy, that vision, that advice before anyone else. And once the job listing isn't quite so live and open for a couple of weeks, I'll make that content then available to everyone for free. So people who are paying for it get that first access, get those dibs, but everyone else still has access to that advice for the next job opportunity that comes up, because that advice will be evergreen. The strategies for applying for jobs don't change that frequently, that drastically. If you want to get first go at applying for these jobs, paid subscriber on Substack, biolabcollective.substack.com, or join as a YouTube member. That will help me make the channel more sustainable in the short run, continue to make better content, and the podcast I'm making reach a broader audience and have more resonance and help more people. That's what I'm trying to do at the end of the day in a way that doesn't make me go crazy. Biggest difference between last year and this year for me is last year was scrambling to script videos, scrambling for ideas on new videos. Take me ages and ages to come up with a new video idea before I then script it, shoot it, edit it, and release it. This year, I've got too many ideas to film and too many ideas to squeeze into really one YouTube channel. Bokeh Therapy, Bokeh, B-O-K-E-H. Therapy. That channel is all about the intersection between photography and mental health, and how I use photography as my hobby, but really to help me have some refuge from the day job and give my mental health a fighting chance of succeeding. By this time, the first episode would have gone live, and it's my review of a pretty new camera, the Sony A7CR, but really it's about my trip to Japan and how I use photography to relax and escape from the mental grind of all the other things I do as a day job. Thank you to all those of you who tuned in this year, hoping you'll tune in again in 2024. Until then, I'm Jack. Hope to see you in the new year.